Oh, what's going on, gang? I forgot we have no stinger for this, but it's your boy KnTElixar. We're back with the Misplay for Game podcast.
Hi, the internet. It's your boy Tom. How's it going? I'm in a tube hotel in Akihabara, busting down the content. So never say we don't try.
And I'm not in a tube hotel. I'm in the comfort of my own home. I'm the only one that's currently at home, and I have a tournament later, and I still don't know what I'm playing.
And I'm in a distinctly separate hotel in Akihabara, which is why Tom and I are split on camera.
In between you guys make a nice sandwich.
It looks so much more stuff than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, so we're all traveling, and I immediately minimize things. Yeah, we're doing all this off of like one laptop. We picked the 1 week when nobody is at the house to continue doing the podcast. I think I've killed Marcio as a result of minimizing, but I'll fix that in a second. Don't say we don't try for these podcasts.
Maybe it's just the preview. Maybe we're fine.
No, I think he's cooked.
You're cooked as well.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you're cooked too.
Yeah.
Damn!
It's
funny that our Fisher Price setup is the one that somehow survived.
That's big camera quality.
I was literally about to say like, oh, this is the one time that my setup looks like okay, but you know.
Okay, yeah, we fixed it.
We're back. I see you.
We're back. Okay. I mean, technically, this is a podcast, so you know.
No, it's not being edited out. We are recording rather than streaming because I don't know how good. Like, I had to pay for the internet to get it to not be like 1 megabyte down. So.
Premier in premium, dude. That's
yes,
beautiful.
Sir. So yeah, we're just gonna be vibing today. We've got nothing on the agenda. We're just chilling. We've got in Celebrity East. And yeah, we're just vibing.
Barely.
No, listen, don't take it from Mr. Humble. I just went to the GAO for Japan over in Chiba. Everybody knows this guy. It is crazy.
That's what I was about to ask. I was like,
yeah, it is crazy. It's like you show up and it's like, oh, hey, dude, I just got in from Thailand. Hey, I just got in from Singapore. I was like, oh, no way. Like, me and shout out to the homie King Kai. They were here before. We were talking about like, yeah, it's super hyped to go like finally see an Eastern format event, like best of one. Like, how do they move the players around? How do they do all the announcements? How do they do the pairings? Yeah, Wiki's the answer. But like when we're walking through trying to find East, it's like, oh, there's like 4 people he's having a conversation with. He's probably not seen in 6 months. It's like, oh yeah, tight. So it's pretty sweet.
So like, I was gonna ask you, are you like sort of like the bridge for Eastern players into like the West as well? Somewhat. Are you sort of like?
I don't know. I've never actually asked some of the Asian players like what my presence represents to them. I think for the Japanese community, it's just like another player in the scene. For the people who live in like SEA or like the Southeast Asia region, maybe it's more of like an insight into what Japan is playing, because they kind of look for when they're looking for decks to actually play in their tournaments, right? Because it's a 1-to-1 comparison for them. They're like that might be the only place they can find it unless they can like parse Japanese. Some of them can't, which is great. But yeah, I think that if I had to like roughly guess, that's the best thing.
It's you and like 9 dudes on Note that are like, yo man, let me show you the write up for the event.
Okay, that makes sense. Sweet. So I think that's like because it's hard to contextualize how like Japan like kind of goes about like doing their thing, but I think that makes sense that to Japan you're just like another guy, but to like people that play JP format you're like the guy.
Oh, dude. Okay, can I hop in really quick? I know this is technically a question for East, but now it's like a dude who has had a tiny sliver of interaction from the inside. Bro, Tokyo Digimon goes crazy. Like I talked to you about this when we hung out at GAO, but it's like we like make a big thing about like the UK is like we support the scene, we get new players in, we sometimes we build whole ass decks to just get people to stick with the game.
That's actually tight.
It's cool, we work on it, but like you can't go 5 minutes without walking into another card shop that has an SP Crimson mode just on a bookshelf. It's like it feels like I'm in like a Willy Wonka movie, and like every store is like, yep, I was out with a friend of the show DHM the other day. We went to Radio Tower, which is like
friend of the show, your brother.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to dox the guy because he doesn't watch the podcast. But we went to Radio Tower, and there's like 6 card stores there that have some like there's even some multi-hyper Coliseum stuff, which is pretty sweet. But we were going through, and we were like, oh, we should get Marcio something. Get him some like bug cards that aren't released in English yet. That'll piss him off.
If you come back to Yeshiva Ace, I will punch you.
Well, hey, Kai got an LM pack at the GAO event, so maybe you can talk to them. But I was
That's
gonna get
awesome.
you some bees.
If you show me a Shiva Ace, the Misplay for Game podcast is a 2-man job.
He's like, I got what I came for, fellas. I'm out.
Yep, for real. So yeah, it's a good one. But it's crazy. Like, I mean, you know, like you said, like if the perception is that you're just like another player, there's probably about 1 million just another players here. I mean, it's the biggest city in the world, but like, bro, there's all locals every night. Like, if you just like check around on Twitter to find who's playing where, it's like, yeah, I've just built this homebrew. It's 50 of the least coherent cards you've ever seen, but my deck is alphabetical, and it's like, all right, bro, you popping off. Dude, Tamer Party stuff is so crazy. I keep seeing, like, I don't know why it's not a thing in Europe. Like, we should be pushing this. Like, the common uncommon stuff has people like, I'm bringing a binder to Tokyo Station. Trade with me. It's crazy.
Yeah, people are actually like, they're sweating for the common uncommon, which is wild to me.
What kind of
hardcore sweatings?
What kind of decks have you seen like in the common uncommon?
Hawkmon.
Hawkmon is one. Hunters is really popular. Pheromon and SOC is also very popular. Pheromon, or not Pheromon, is it?
Anubis, right?
What is it? Anubis,
yeah, not the old Anubis. No, it's dark.
Wait, not my goat.
It might be Pheromon. Hold on.
Is it Pheromon?
The one from 16.
It's the level 6 one. That, like,
yeah. We notably called that card pack garbage in this area.
Yeah, it's Pheromon.
Who's we, bro? Who's we?
Andrew will come over anything that plays a dude from trash.
Yes, sir.
But like, yeah, that goes pretty crazy. SOC, they use the top end KBeeDS, surprisingly enough, and he does decently well. And then I've seen a couple of grand local mons also pop up.
Oh, hell yeah!
It's like a wild top end for machine shit, dude. It's so funny. I watched the dude, like, the one that bugs me is, like, you don't think about it, because, like, I don't know if it's not always the same here, but, like, a lot of the promos in the West are, like, super foil or no foil at all, because they were, like, what was out of a shoebox? So, like, in my head, I'm like, I gotta remember that, like, promos are not allowed. So I'm like, why is this, like, 2-cent card, this, like, Gatomon, like, not allowed in play when it's, like, the cheap Gatomon everybody used to use? But no, it's cool, though. It's a fun format to keep up with. But people are going crazy. It's nuts. It's, like...
I think, like... For West, alt formats tend to be sort of like hit or miss. Like, unless we are forced to play it, sometimes they pick up a bit.
Exception.
Yeah, like sometimes they'll pick up a little bit of traction, but generally people would tend to just play like their regular decks.
I think the problem is we just don't have enough. We don't have enough organized play to justify your main organized play slot turning it into an alt format. Like, people like bitched and moaned about like the single color alt cup because like. We didn't have any regionals, so it was like the only way you're playing competitive Digimon is one where like all of the DNA decks are dead, Hunters, which is dominant in main format, is completely unplayable, and Bloom is everywhere. Like, I don't want to waste my time.
To be fair, so to show you the other side of that, we also had a monocolor format for what we call regulation battles, which is kind of like the side stuff. And this was during the time when like Vaccine Armor was absolutely just cracked, and they're like, we choose yellow to be the single color format. And people are like, why? What's the point? It's like me and like 40 other dudes running Magnum on X. That's the tournament. Like, what am I supposed to do?
You guys also had
when like the yellow ones came out?
I think that was around that time.
I was going to say, we had the green. We had like a green only tournament. This was when, listen, if it's a Tamer's deck, I'll stay in it forever. But I finally convinced Mercy to try Leomon, like, after, because he did not believe it was real.
I was a hater. I'm not gonna lie. As a dedicated green player, I was a Leomon hater for a while. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, he died for your sins, and that's how you get treated. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It was for the Double Typhoon, like prize, like not circuit, but
yeah, because you guys had like
actual Spring Cup or something like that.
Yeah,
exactly. Had like the mono
because you guys had the Mudan High as well. Like, you guys had the Mudan High. We, for whatever reason, only seem to do them for the advanced deck releases. Like, we had effectively the Mudan High for Bielsamon starter deck, and then we had like the Spring Cup for Terrier. But they've not done it outside of advanced deck releases. There's nothing on the horizon for Liberator, as far as I know. But yeah, it's weird.
I don't want to play a mono yellow format, to be clear. That does not sound
like no, I'm not inviting that into my home.
Yeah, BT17 be like, welcome to Shine. It's gonna absolutely cook you in 4 turns.
it's like Vax armor or set control, and that's all we played when it was big here. So I don't wish that on anybody else.
I gave all my. I mean, I wasn't gonna build it for a little while, but I did give all the Magnamons I pulled away. So I hope we don't have to play a yellow format. Yeah. I pulled an alt out of a pre-release box. So I had to hit Andrew up. It was pretty hype.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm only
What
one ult away from finishing that, and then I'm sending London players to go hunt for Flame Dramons because, yeah, it's rough
That
out
card's
here.
so good, man.
Yeah.
I can't believe I was talking about this before. It's like, LM4 got delayed here, fellas.
Yeah.
Or it's like the cards are out, but like the shipping and stuff was an issue. I think it's a shame because it's like there's so many cards in there. Like Protoform is like a $20 card here.
Please.
Oh,
it's insane. Like they're
scuffed or not scuffed, I'll take it. Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, I was gonna ask
There
if
are
you've
regular
actually had any of
Protoforms.
the like completely like fucked up ones.
Oh, I saw one in person though.
So here's what happened. They were only going to sell them in Japan at that event, the Grand Asia Open Finals. But in advance of that, they sent them to distributors in the rest of the ASEAN region. So people in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, all those places, from what I know, they already have access to those cards, even though they're kind of scuffed in some cases. It's hit or miss. Like there's some of like the protoforms that are completely fine, but some of them are just like someone like punched the side of the car for some reason. And so it's a weird situation where Japan normally would get stuff first, and then they would get it afterward. Like in the case of like the scrambles or the training cards when they first came out, it's the opposite now. So they have access to it, but nobody in Japan has it.
So how does that affect?
So good, though.
How does that affect the legality of like? Well, I guess it's like the reprints, right? There's no new cards.
There are some new cards. There's the
really?
colors memory boost. Yeah, it's like Wisteria, which is like red and
Oh,
blue.
those were in LM4.
Amethyst. Yeah. So were those like 6 cards?
Yeah, it was 6.
Red, blue, red, black, green, purple, yellow, black, yellow, purple.
Yeah.
So does that mean? That like, are they legal? Say for example, if you go to locals like tomorrow, could you play with those cards? Are they legal for like Japan?
I don't actually know. I actually, here's the thing, right? There's no actual like big events happening in Japan right now. Okay. So we're kind of in the middle of cycle 1 and cycle 2. So the Gal finals finished up cycle 1 of like our competitive season. And then we basically do the same thing that just happened all over again for cycle 2. But that doesn't start until I think September.
Okay.
If they're, I would imagine they're not legal, but I don't know if there's any ruling on it anywhere. From what I know, on the 19th of this month, which I think is actually tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
They're actually going to be on sale online from the Premium Bandai website, and then from there, I think they just get shipped to players.
Okay.
Is Premium Bandai like fast for you guys? Because ours is usually like you pre-order on Premium Bandai, and then 3 months after the cards have rotated out of being useful, you get your pretty alt arts. You go, oh, okay, these are useful. Like Ukomon and like the Vmon are the only ones that like. I guess like the movie promos kind of held value, but like there are so many people that are trying to like cope on like Hawkmon Rush, and that joint is not good. But now you got your pretty versions.
People, you can tell you're me. No, the worst one was the Royal Knights binder because it was like when that got announced, those were so hype. But it was like promo Guilmon, the like on attack draw, the BT5 Agumon and Gabumon, and then like the one card in that stayed good was the Vmon that searches for free types. And everyone's like, "Oh my god!" Like
the Huckmon as well.
Bro, I hate that card.
Oh, the Huckmon sees some play, yeah. But like the Vmon was like you bought a binder on Premium Bandai for $30, and it was like the Vmons were like 40 USD when they dropped for that first week. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's like everything else was back filler. It was crazy.
I hate Vmon tax.
That's what I was gonna ask next.
TCG player was like on fire.
That's what I was gonna ask next. Like, have there ever been sort of like any time decks were sort of like gapped for like price wise? Because like here in the West, like I'm sure you've seen like the absurd prices on some of the cards. But has there ever been a case of like, oh, this deck saw less play because these cards were harder to get, or they were like more expensive?
Surely it was just APOC, right?
Or is generally everything like, or is everything like usually like accessible enough for people?
Things are typically pretty accessible. I think the only time we really ran into that kind of issue was maybe Apocalymon, and then outside of that, maybe Shine Greymon, Ruinmon. He's only like 1 or 2 of in most decks, so you can just kind of like, if you really wanted to sweat, then maybe like 2 of him and Numamon back in the day. but if you didn't have them, I mean, you could slot in like I don't know, Rapidmon or a Valgace.
Okay.
Pretty much be okay.
That's fine.
My favorite like broke comment that I ever remember seeing was Misao posted his like he won. I think it was like maybe like a I can't even remember the event it was. Shoot, he went like 11-0 in like an EX6 run. It was like he was like the first and only dude that had converted with Mostamon. And he had like this note right up where he did everything. It was like 12 pages of like here's how you play this match, here's all this stuff.
Yeah.
And like it's Misao, so everything he had was super shiny and it was like super expensive. And,
of course.
but like the deck was also like I think it was like 14 secret areas or something like that. Like it was just like almost every secret in yellow and purple. And the guy was like, yeah, I'm playing like 3 ruin mode. And like the top comment on his note was like, okay, money bags. it's like all right, dude. It's like, yeah, this is cool. Like, yeah, I see you went 11-0 and literally unbeaten on the day in like the biggest event of 2024 so far. This was like May, I think.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is like, oh wow, like objectively, like this is probably the coolest achievement so far in Digimon this calendar year. And like the top reply with like 19 thumbs up is like, damn, bro, spend a little less.
It's funny because I see that on
up
like
his credit card, right?
Yeah, he had like the SP Mostamons and shit. Bro, like, bro, my whole deck doesn't cost that much.
We've seen that on like Digital Gate Studios as well, like here in the West, like for so long, anytime that you see like a deck that like Basil and like the guys are like, man, we got 47 cards. Throw 3 Death X in there. It'll probably fix most of your bad matchups. And like, damn, bro, you right.
Do it. Yeah.
Like, also when like Etamon topped, when Infinity took Etamon to that top 8 in OCE, it's like, all right, so here's the things, and we get to the level 7s. Quadruple the price of this deck with 3 Death X's. It will win you games. I'm like, no, I mean, sure.
They'll play Tamers with Digimon and you're going to be there. Trust me.
What you can't pop brings the cost of Death X down. Give them a catch-22. Which way, Western man?
Sometimes I forget that like Digimon sometimes like costs money because like I live with
it used to not cost money. That's the other thing. It used to be so cheap.
Because like I live with
cheap, like...
I live with Tom's brother, right? And we basically have what we say like our collection where it's like we try to get sort of like everything in play sets.
The humble bag is crazy. They win a case like once or twice a year and then they just like walk out with a case of a new set and they're like, all right.
Look, man.
Yeah,
we played Liverpool regionals, and so these guys won their win. They won a 3v3 win a case from like one of the largest community TOs in the UK.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, they were like, you guys can either get a case of 13 or you can wait till Liverpool regionals. So this was like July, and then they were like in July it was like you guys can either have a case of BT13 or you can wait till November and we'll hook you up with 14. And they were like, November, awesome. And then for like the first 3 weeks of BT14, everybody in Manchester was just like, Marcio, he got 4 yellow training because he had 16 of every color. So can I borrow a playset?
Yeah,
please.
Oh, it was so funny.
That's why I'm like, when new players get into the game, like because like I have Death X's, Ruin modes, trainings, whatever, right? And as an example, we have a friend from Yu-Gi-Oh who started playing the game recently, and he was like, "Oh, I'm playing this deck. I want to play Shine and Gallon and stuff." And I bought these cards, and I immediately was like, "Dude, why did you buy them? I have them in bulk."
Just
take
my
super rares.
Yeah,
like, take my bulk.
One of our friends, he was going for the Gold Rapid from the starter deck, so he's bought like 12 of the advanced decks. So every so often, like he sees like a new player who's on the starter deck, and I just see him reach into the binder, and our pre-releases aren't real. So the Double Typhoon pre-release was just like, all right, we're going to spoons. Who wants 4 Double Typhoon alts? And it's just like, I see him reach into the binder. He just starts throwing alt Terriermons at people, like, make my binder less heavy. And people are like, oh, I could pay you back. He's like, no, please, take this product off me. I need this gone.
Yeah, we just started having me like, yeah, come back to locals next week. Just show up again. We want more people.
No, but that's genuinely, like, this is very much like not a common problem, but
success, by the way.
Actually it's literally like we have so much that I would rather give to people so it's less for me to carry around, because like once we build one of every deck I don't need more. It's very rare that
that's true actually. Yeah,
very rare that me and Tom's brother play the same deck, and my girlfriend as well. Yeah, like it's like the 3 of us and like Kai as well, right? Like the 4 of us have very little deck overlap. So we usually just build one of everything, and then we're chilling.
Yeah, you just rotate with that. I understand that 100%. Like, I'm actually at the problem now where I'm like trying to get rid of bulk, and my local card shop isn't taking bulk right now because a bunch of games are doing had like new sets come out, so that they have to stop everything to like take care of the new people's sets, cards, whatever. So I'm sitting here like for a month like waiting with like this like 6 like long cases of cards. Like, want these, bro? At this point, I'm willing to just give them away, and they just won't take them.
It was actually kind of cool. I saw DigiPanda, the way he handles his box situation is he just makes deck calls for people. Like, you might be missing a couple of the SRs, but he'll like make a Greymon box for someone. It's like, here's like, I'll have boosts, I'll have a couple of trainings, I'll have like the tamers, like the black tie and stuff like that. And it's like, here's like 45 cards that I don't need, and it's just the same deck core every time. And he's just like, if you're a new player, instead of buying like a shitty starter deck that you'll only take 5 cards out of and then have a bunch of bulk, it's like, here's a near playable thing, go buy some SRs.
Here's Shine Greymon, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's cool. That's sick. I want to go back really quickly. You guys mentioned somebody, Digital Gate Studios.
Yeah.
Does anyone know who that fella is?
Andrew's done some stuff with them.
Yeah. Well, wait. I'm doing with DigiGuard United, but like, yeah, Basil's like, he's a fan of the channel. We've seen him in the comments every so often, but I think it's the brothers.
Like, oh my god, that's like
so funny.
Western Digimon. He did him. So they have another show. Is the podcast just called Digital Gate Podcast? I know the YouTube channel is, right? This sucks. I should know these things.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. No, it's Two Tamers Talk. Two Tamers Talk is the name of the
Two Tamers Talk. Thank you. So the show's really good because they like, these guys are like relatively consistently topping. They have a really interesting perspective on like, they like come from card games. So like they have like a really like, and they have like a good like the theory of like how a tournament goes. It's like, you know, like take your day slow, like get up in the morning, go for a walk, like, you know, lock in, get your headspace right. Like they do a lot of good like discussion about like how to feel like you've got a good hand on the ball. But also, bro, these guys are so good at posting. It's crazy. Like they did a video that was like, how long is the ban? It's like 40 minutes, and he like bans like 90 cards or restricts like 90 cards.
Dude, it's so funny.
Like, this is how I would fix Digimon for the next 5 years.
But yeah,
it's incredible. He bans like,
how come you're...
Bro, he bans Pummel Whack. Like, yeah, yeah, it's just everything.
Who is that? Who's reading value out of Pummel Whack?
He's like hypothetically, it's too good.
How come you're asking? Is it like, are you trying to? Is it like?
Sorry, I'm confusing. I think I might be making a bit of a mix-up here. So you guys mentioned Digital Gate Studios. I was thinking of Digital Gate Open.
Oh yeah, Gate Open. We actually
we love them.
Yeah.
I don't know who that person is, but I need them to recognize very quickly how important they will become next March. I need them to recognize how great that site could be if they would just make the deck builder cards show the card when I hovered over it. Oh my god! If they could just do that, everything else in the deck build is perfect. They also get all the tournament results for most of the places that I've seen for the English format. And with unification for the game, it's super easy to get the JP stuff, and I hope that becomes a hub for the actual like players for the game.
So it's crazy.
I don't know if they recognize that opportunity or potential, but I pray to God they recognize it soon.
Yeah. It's crazy you mentioned that. Like, we've been kind of coy about it for the like last couple of weeks, but the next video essay, like the next plan that we've been working on is, have you watched any of like False Swipe Gaming for like their competitive history Pokemon breakdowns?
Oh, dude, I'm gonna send you a link. You can watch this later.
They go through like Charmander or like Charizard, for example. Like, how good was he in Gen 1, 2, 3, all the way through in singles and doubles? We're like, the next project we're working on is to do that for Digimon cards, and like the first one, like transparently, is going to be Shoutmon. Like, how good is the Shoutmon name? And Digital Gate Open has been like, obviously Digimon card meta for the East has been fantastic. I've been checking your videos as well to like see what like was going on in just like the general space outside of like big tops. But like, yeah, Digital Gate Open is fantastic.
Actual, like, spreadsheets.
Oh, that'd be brilliant, because like, I need to invite you to the Discord. We've got like the short one that's just like the stats team to like cross check everything that I've written. But Digital Gate Open doesn't have the deck authors up until you hit BT 14, where they started actually being able to pull like the deck authors. So I'd be like, okay, yeah, a Shoutmon list topped somewhere in LATAM. And now I'm going to be trawling Facebook to try and find an author. Like one of them, like was like, I'm pretty sure this was
Actually,
Jill, but let me go check. And like Eggman events, so I've got like 300 tabs open on one. It's just like, oh, but yeah,
it's like the stock day trader, like all the screen.
Yeah, it is.
I need more data.
It is that bad. Like we have like a Google Doc like in the works with like just me and checking the ideas. It's like Andrew and me, we've got some judge homies who are going through making sure all the rulings were like accurate at the time or if something has changed or whatever. But like I'll be like, man, it won like a bunch of regionals in Latin America because they went on to win worlds that year with Crossheart from like Argentina.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so like you know Crossheart in LATAM was like kind of a meme, and then we're like shit. You can't be.
We're a meme.
And the worst bit is it's because it's like by the name as well. Right now I'm in the BT12 like future gulag, so I'm just like, yeah, it topped in Hunters again. Woo.
Yeah. But like we had to talk about like, you know, we last week or not last week, it's been 2 weeks since we recorded like an actual podcast episode, but we were talking about like, so it got brought up about like, this was before the ban list going on. So we were like, oh, you know, like, is this one of the longest waits for the ban list? Like, how does the format feel or whatever? Like, we're going into BT17, like, who's excited? And then we had the whole thing about like scrambles feels bad. But we were talking about like, is this like the bottom of the barrel? I was like, God, no. Like, there's been like Digimon is like, even when it has its hills and valleys these days, it's like, bro, we got through worse, dude. BT10, like, especially we complain about BT10, and we only had Cross 4 for like 3 weeks. You guys had Cross 4 for 3 months.
You guys,
it's the worst Digimon ever.
It's like we always get sort of like revision like formats like, okay, this was like hell in Japan, right? So for you guys in the West, you'll get like, you know, a much nicer version of the format. So for example, our BT15 was like much different to you guys' BT15. Like we had actual variety. There was no Apocalypse, no Melga, no Anubis.
Bro, can you imagine showing up to a tournament and it's 7 rounds of Apocalypse mirrors?
Yeah,
I shit you not.
There was literally only one like regional tier or above event pre-Apocalypse ban list. It was in Texas, and I remember like it's like bizarrely one of the most like well covered events in NA Digimon because like there was like so many dudes there that were like the way that like the event coverage would be like, I just saw Huang Zero in the line to buy 4 Apocalypse secret rares from this card.
Oh, that was so funny. He was on the podcast. He was on the podcast the week of, and he was like, yeah, I went to a store and they didn't have 4 Apocalypse. They had 3 and 1 alt. So now I have 3 Apocalypse and 1 alt. And then after he bought it, he was flicking through and he found a 4th regular. So it's like, now I own an alt that I don't even want. It's like, well, you better top.
It was so messed up, but it was like every 4th dude's Facebook post would be like, I'm in Texas with the boys, and it'd be like somebody's broke because he just spent like $200 on some Apocalypse.
And it's like for one event, yeah.
For one event.
See, that's crazy.
I didn't realize how bad, like looking back, how bad it was for BT10 for you guys, because I had to like
it's the worst format in Digimon ever, dude.
But just like looking at the ban list, the ban list was so late. We got our ban list first, which was crazy because like our Shoutmon got banned before you guys, and that was just like a mind-blowing revelation. I was like, surely, okay, we're talking BT11 now. Has the ban list dropped? Okay, no, it was then, and I'm like, wait, why is our number smaller? How the fuck did we get our card banned before you guys? Like you're in the trenches. I'm like, yeah, unfortunately, Shout 4 hasn't been hit. You're still dying turn 3. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm sorry to hear that. And then it's like, disappears.
That was won that year as well, right?
Yeah.
I remember watching the footage.
So like let's say like when you have like a bad format, quote unquote, right? Like your Shoutmon cross Tendex, your Apocalypse, Nume, I'm not sure it feels like too much of a problem for you guys because like it's always been sort of like a weird anti-meta pick from what I've sort of looked up online.
It's gotten to meta now.
It's very meta.
And then like
when players have to sweat, it's meta.
Okay, and then like Ancient Guru as well. Like I think by the sounds of it, it's like a big problem deck right now as well. So like,
Why
you
did
notice?
it get the BT18 logo, bro? What were they doing? Why did it get that card?
So do you like see like when you go to locals or whatever, or just like online, do you see sort of like an up and down in terms of like Digimon talk? Like, do people are like, do they ever like doom post, or is it like, do you notice like less attendance when the formats get a bit more like stale?
Yeah, that's absolutely a thing. So one of the things, it's a culture shift when you come to Japan. It's like people won't really openly like make negative comments about anything. No one wants to be seen as a hater. Which
Wow,
man,
that's crazy.
Going by Ian Facebook, man, that's
Yeah, they are
huge culture shift. But anyway, so but if you like go to events and you're just talking with people, they're absolutely like they know what they're only up and up. Like they know what's going on. They okay, yeah, like Imamon's saying, why can you just build an ancient Garurumon in a turn, pop a security, make a swing, and then recycle your tamer and your Lobomon to do it again next turn? Like they're well aware of those sorts of things. So, but like if you like look on Twitter, try to like scroll on like whatever I don't know, like messaging sites Japan has, you're not really gonna see it just put out there unless it's I think anonymous. That's like 4chan level.
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
So.
You got the comments on stuff like what's it? CG Guide has like the reviews for like the suggested deck lists.
Yeah.
And like I remember the one that like we tried to show some new players at Fanboy, like some of the like it was the oh shoot, was it Malaysia that Lilithmon got second? No, Malaysia was way later. Where the heck did Lilithmon
Was
get
it
second?
Indo?
What would
Lilithmon X in EX7 got second place at one of the GAO events, and I can no longer remember which one.
Was it Indonesia?
It's been a couple.
Thailand,
Maybe Thailand. It was like the first 3 GAOs from this block. It was probably like, if it helps, it was probably June.
I could probably find it, but
yeah, we talked about it at some point. But we have this new player that's like, oh, Lilithmon. And I was like, yeah. So we showed him this deck list. Yeah, we showed him the deck list and we showed him the CG guide page. And the CG guide page, it was like an anonymous comment, and it's like, bro, like this is what porn addiction looks like. It's like, all right.
Yeah, anonymity is a powerful thing here in Japan.
It's pretty crazy. I was like, I had to like Google Translate. I was like, how often do you get comments on a CG guide suggested deck? Oh,
not often.
It was so funny.
But yeah, like, people only up and up to like what decks are strong, what decks aren't strong, and then like like you said, if like when Apocalypse was like at his height, like attendance dropped for events for sure. Like it was outside of like the actual like competitive events, like the like weekly tamer battles or like locals that what you guys would call them, like attendance dropped for those for sure.
I am never getting a good mill deck again, bro. Apocalypse has ruined mill for this game. It feels so bad. I love milling card games.
10 cards on like turn 2 or 3 is insane.
I was watching. We did the set review for 17. Just me and Andrew the other day, and we were going through. And like it's the funniest. Like it's like Chekhov's gun, right? It's like you look at like, oh, they were designing the cards and they're like, here's Apocalypse. Like this is a big secret rare monster, and you like hard play your level 6s, and isn't that cool? And then like you're like, no, nobody's gonna do that. We're gonna play Aizmon and Garurumon, whatever. And then you get to BT17, and they were like, this is before they had banned the card. So it was like, this is its next wave of support. Because like when you design it before it comes out in English,
exactly. Yeah.
Dude, have you read the Golfmon for the level 6 that is like intended support? It unmills your opponent. So they legit thought that you were gonna like put cards in your opponent, take cards out of their deck, put them in the trash, and then put them back to attack. And I was like, no, you've already won the game. What are you doing? You're like trolling the tournament, like just to make the game last longer.
That's actually hater energy.
Yeah, shit is crazy. I think it's so funny. It's like there's not often like so many examples of like when they, or I should say, I think overwhelmingly that like sample deck lists that they give us when new sets come out are like generally a good thing. Like it's like a good core of like like the BT17 just came out in English and it's like, here's how we think you should play Pulsemon, and it's like
here's how you should play Gallantmon with like the Takatos.
Exactly. Oh, dude, yeah. They posted 7 Takatos instead of 4 of the new one and 3 of the old one. They posted the same card 7 times on the deck profile. And I was like, finally, optimal deck moment.
Thank God Bandai has.
Yeah.
Thank God Bandai has Twitter Gold or whatever, so they can like update their own posts.
Yeah. They pay for Twitter to edit the tweet. It's so unfair. So now my retweet just looks like I'm a crazy person.
Still a can't read either card player.
Exactly. No, but it's like if you look at the Apocalypse one, like they just didn't think we were gonna play any of those cards with that deck. They just really thought we were gonna play like hard play a level 5, put a level 6 in Razor. Like that's like legit what they thought we were gonna do. I'm like, then they were like, wait, why are they playing Cranium on? Like, what is going on? What's happening?
Yeah, you guys didn't even have.
I think it must have been.
You guys didn't even ever
It's
really
crazy.
have Belphapocally, right? Like when I look at card meta, I never actually see that. Like this
They
is
had better shit over here though.
Not really. I mean,
yeah.
it was definitely a thought. Players thought about it, but I think that like Craniumon builds, Metallicdramon builds would just seem like super nasty.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that
They're
is
like, yeah,
fair.
please this.
We're not on that here. So this is also
Well, we did.
uniquely a product
This
of
is his fault. Don't
yeah.
like. He's gonna tell you a story here. This is his fault, and he has ruined the UK Digimon scene a
Yeah,
little bit.
we've done
Like
irreparable
he
damage.
revived you like revived a Pokemon for BT16. Like it topped multiple events
Yeah, in multiple
with a
regions.
one of.
So
Oh yeah.
the idea. So one of our friends, so for context, at our store we have a testing group that consists of defending regional champion, second place with highest like average placement top 8, a guy that refuses to play honest
Shout out to Johnny
Digimon,
Lowe.
and then a married man with a job. Like that's those 4, and
My heart goes out to that fellow right there. Yeah.
he was getting his ass beat by vaccine armor for hours, and he was
Like
seeing
a whole
red.
Saturday.
Yeah, just
a
like
whole Saturday. He willingly went to go test, and then it was just over. He was like, yeah, no, the guy, he was like, oh, I got beaten so bad, I had to build this just to get some games off of him, and then he just started winning just regularly.
yeah, like usually
He
the
was
guy that
very-
comes out of it is Derek. He's
he's
usually on Dorbic or Machine, or like when Knights was a thing, specifically to counter Knights, he built like this Merva hate pile that recycled 4 Psychmon and 4 Pomumon with the like purple green Antila to specifically just kill Saf's run. He would just go like, I'm hunting you in bracket and I'm killing Knights players. I can go X3,
local,
but as long as I
he did it,
kill
like, every
Knights.
week.
It's so funny every
I have
time he
one
comes
goal,
up.
and it's not to win the tournament.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
so sick.
yeah.
Unironically, sometimes he just tops accidentally because he goes to hunt one guy and kills 5 of them on the way and gets 10th place. But this
That's
time it was
hate in his heart.
it was a different guy, and he was like, yeah, if I mill all 4 of their Magnamons, they don't get them back. I'm never swinging at security, so Awakening's never going to bring it back from security. And he would run Apocally with the Belphemon sleep mode. Belphemon sleep mode loads the rage mode for the 10 mil.
Mode, yeah.
And then if it dies, he was on Lament. He was on 3 Lament because Lament isn't color locked like Calling is. So he would just bring back the APOC, and he's on full
It was
Gizmon engine,
awful.
and he would just draw until he finds Apocally and make it protected, and sit there until the game
got,
ended, and just go shake.
And like this was like it wasn't like a huge meta like representation, but like it got like 6th in like a 80-man Australian event and stuff.
We
Like,
all
yeah,
feel different.
he
over
won
there.
an
it's
Evo
it was
Cup.
awful.
It's always like,
Yeah.
so like, it's like you have like Latin American
It's like all
Oceania, right?
Eggman events, and it's his fault.
It's like we have like, you know, Latin American, Oceania, and like I feel like these regions, these like wild card regions, we all like to make fun of each other,
Bro,
like,
Latam
oh
is
yeah,
better
bro,
than me, I
you,
swear to God.
it's like, oh, you were barely an event. Well, you were barely an event too, but like we are like almost like parallel. Like sometimes I'll look at like an Oceania event and I'll be like, why did this deck do well here? And then like I'll be like at a regional in the UK and it's like the same, like almost like 1-to-1, and I'm like, I guess we're all the same after all. We're all this stupid.
No players can read.
It's so funny, like especially because like we are obviously very loud because we have an established viewer base and we can meta manipulate. But it's really funny because we also just have people who are good at the game. Balfi, like he went undefeated, no games dropped at the Evo Cup, which made the deck list even more real. So then seeing other people, like, well, it won something without dropping games, and then taking other players who are better and seeing them do it more, I'm like, oh, we've ruined this format.
So like in over there, right? Like in Japan, do you have sort of like people that like are generally like more dedicated to like one deck, or do people tend to play sort of look towards like what's usually like better? Because here we'll have like, you know, Shine
There's
will
a
win
mid dude.
they're like Shine,
Omito,
Crossar, there's like
the mill guy.
yeah, we have like random guys that'll always play this deck like no matter what. So even if you're going to a tournament, you're like, oh, maybe I'll play against this, but then it's just like your run is just against people
You
that
get
are like,
flashbang by a one trick.
yeah, it's just like one trick after one trick after one trick. So what's that like over there?
Yeah, that definitely happens. So just for a little context, there's a fellow by the name of Hia, H-I-A, yeah. And I think since whenever Alpha One, the Secret Rare came out, until I think BT16. He played exclusively Alphamon.
Hell yeah.
I was in BT15. I was like trying out my Commandramon D Brigade deck, like the Digiplay stuff, and I was like, he opens up, and I was like, wait, is this still the same BT7? And he's like, yep. And he's just like dropping cards into the trash, drawing shit, playing Dodomon, discard 1, draw 2, whatever. And I was like, really? Why? He goes, I just like him, man. And I got him down to 2 security, and he just beat my ass so hard with Oryuken mode after that.
I love that Digimon is like a game, like we made it over that hump now where we got like, you know, like the Yu-Gi-Oh guys have like the blue eyes dudes, and it's just like everything. They got like a blue eyes t-shirt, they got like blue eyes sneakers.
That's Tom's brother with Alphamon.
Yeah, it's so funny though. So it's like my Twitter, I mean, I haven't asked the guy, so I'm not gonna send Andrew a screenshot of the DMs because that's no good. But like, my Twitter is so funny because when we started doing data collection for the show, like I took a bunch of stuff from the folks you had sent us through, like some of your streams, you'd be like, here's the spreadsheet. I think it was like BT14. I was like, I just started writing names down to who to talk to. And there's like a couple folks, especially shout out to the Osaka region. Like there's a bunch of stores out in Osaka where people are like, they will like, I will Google Translate to ask them questions, and I will get like Google Translate responses back. Yeah. But these guys are like for the love of the game, like some of the craziest grinders I've ever seen. Like there's this dude out there that's trying to make like a Lusamon, like a 50 card Lusamon, like a perfect purple hybrid Luce list work together, and it's incredible. And I just like, you ask, you hit somebody up and you're like, hey man, like how'd your run go this week? Like what'd you play against? What's your matchup advice? He's like, don't, pile of cards, too unusable.
Speaking of Osaka, I saw on Twitter the other day, there's a fellow named Goo. Goo Digi. He's actually putting together an event. They're gonna stream it at some point. I don't know when it's gonna be out. I'm not sure if the date's decided or not. They're gonna have a East versus West Japan. I think 7 versus 7.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
That'll be fun. Yeah, I want to ask him if I can like restream that innings. That'll be a blast.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I love the streams, dude. I think it's so cool that people show up because it's like, I mean, now that we finally have the podcast, can I get the me camera for a second, or is that not on the laptop? I want to beef with the guys in East's comments who are complaining about paying for membership shit. Listen, no, ignore him. He's not. If you guys have beef with dudes who spend this long, Homeboy works a second job on Digimon, basically. If you have beef with him putting content out for people and like doing tons of collection, editing, working with, we talked about Seiji last week, but it's like, bro is a busy dude with other stuff to make. Yeah, big up Seiji. If you guys have beef with somebody who's spending this long putting together edited, constructed material for the game, you have to get your priorities together, bro. Broke is broke, and it shows. Deal with it. Anyway, that's me. No, I'm like, you can't get over the hump here, bro. It's like, if they're gonna be mad haters, like this is my opinion. This is not East's opinion. I want to be clear. Homeboy is nothing but respectful. If you guys are going to get this mad about somebody who has done multiple hour streams reviewing content and explaining how a tournament goes, because people show up in the chat. Like if I'm editing something, I'll watch like especially in the UK, it'll be like I finished work when you start doing the live streams to review like a GAO event. Be like, oh, watch what East's doing, and then it'll be like some dude will be like Imperial too good, and he'll be like, no, here's how the cards work. And it's like bro, it's like daycare in Twitch chat sometimes. So it's like if you can't be, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. That's what my grandpa used to tell me. So keep it together. And then also like, dude, if we have, you shouted out the Digital Gate guys before, because it's it's nice to have the good resources of like folks who really care.
You really should.
It's like
support people supporting your community.
Exactly. Like it's not, we like to meme a little bit about like the K-Split being like the only UK regional that was on all last format, which is kind of true actually.
Yep.
But like if you ain't gonna be there for the folks that are like putting stuff on for the game, it's like, what are you getting at? What are you getting online to post for if you don't want to shout out like people repping the scene and
I've learned something recently, and that is like, as someone like building a YouTube channel these past like 2 or 3 years, you'll get a comment that you're not like particularly happy about, and you'll just sit there and look at it for a moment, like, I could go off on this guy.
Yeah.
I've learned you don't need to, because somebody else will do it.
See, for us, that's Marcio every time.
Oh, dude, I talk bad shit.
Every time I'm just like, because he always does it from his own account or the second, like his second
I have
account.
like an alt account.
But we all. The funny thing is, the alt account is his name, so it's like.
Yeah, the alt.
So like somebody will be like, I don't think his list is very good, and then like Marcy will be like, I disagree on the professional like YouTube account, and then like the real ass Marcio account just shows up. He's like, you're an idiot.
Dude, I love talking shit online. It's so good. Funnily enough, I had one guy when we did like our tier list, and one guy was like, what's up with that guy? He wants to like hurry up too much. Is he in a rush or something? No shit, dude. The video was like 2 hours. I don't have like, you wanted the video to go on for 3 hours? I can only talk about so much Digimon.
He just didn't want to talk about why Birds is dead. I understand. Dodging the topic.
Nah, bro, Safagama will save us, I believe.
Oh, don't even get me started. No scribbles, though. Take your head down. No scribbles.
I have to...
Remember Marcio.
Yeah, I know. So, like, you know, like Zafagamon and Central, are those decks sort of like... Because it feels like they're not really doing anything.
Not really. I think that those decks were great resources for people to, like, hop into the game. Outside of that, though, like if you're trying to like bring Safagamon to, I don't know, like the Gao last weekend, you're gonna have a rough time. Like you don't have a ton of defensive resources. The Grant Galemon that grants your Digimon like basically invulnerability for a turn is fantastic. I like you setting that up and then like having an ace in the back is like a checkmate for a lot of folks. Like if they try to just swing thinking like they're gonna be fine, like Gargamon ace or Mecha Gargamon ace, hold that, and good luck next game. But yeah, the decks are I think great for beginners, but at the highest level right now, I don't think that they're there right now. I imagine that it's going to be a situation kind of like Seekers, where although I guess Seekers is a little bit different because Lukeman came out the gate swinging.
Yeah, like deck posted.
But my guess is that as Liberator goes on, those decks kind of see the rise in popularity, as that's kind of what Bandai is using to push Digimon, I guess, into this like next couple of I don't know, card game cycles, months, years, whatever. So my guess is I put this out on Twitter the other day. Vortex Resonance, which is essentially just retooled like or reskinned blue card, the secret rare for EX7. There's gonna be a way for them to play that card for free. If you play that card for free, you immediately get search for 0 cost. You go to level 5, play Vortex Resonance for free, 0 cost search 4, and then evolve for free or cost -4. Like as soon as that happens, all those decks get super strong.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was gonna say because like these decks will eventually be like, I'm not saying they will be like Bandai's babies, but they're like the facing decks that like they're going to use to push out like this next like wave of like Digimon content, right? So I wanted to sort of get into some perspective if they were like good right now or if people weren't really vibing with them. But I think what you said makes sense. Like,
listen, Marcio, I don't know if you know, bro. Shoto Kazuma is the best card in the card game.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about Moss.
The internet told me.
I wasn't gonna bring a Tekken ass name like Shoto Kazama, you know, like he's like
just in a volcano.
Yeah, exactly. Me leaving Mother D Reaper in a pit. Nah, listen, he hooked me and Kai up the other week when we were hanging out at the GAO, and he was like, I got some decks I'll bring over. I was like, I don't know why, because like the homie King Kai has not played that much Digimon in about a year, and like I think like 1 or 2 locals in 12 months, and I was like, you know what deck I really want to play against Kai? I picked Mother Control. I just wanted to do it just one time. I lost, I got cooked, but like
good.
But you should have won that game.
I griefed a little bit. But it was a banger. It was a banger. But like I don't know, like the Shoto is cool, man. I don't want to talk too much about ban list stuff because obviously you made some stuff already that's coming out, but like I don't want to rehash things a million times. But like I hope we've talked about this IRL. I hope they don't hit the Shoto Mother D.
Absolutely.
I think it's good for the game. I'm not even
it feels fine. It feels fine.
I just worry that like, every now and then like that feels like the most ever like, oh, this old random card is interfering with the thing we're trying to promote right now.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of that.
But we got fake Jerry recently, so I feel like you're probably fine for a little bit.
Yeah, Tamers is gonna get another. I mean, like we're not gonna get another Mother D Reaper egg, right? Like there's no way. Like they're not. Even though BT19 is coming out right now, like I don't think they're gonna drop. Like we might get another Searcher or something, but I don't think we'll get like like Eosmon's new Eosmon is not like a 50 of. Like you can't play multiple. Same with Vemmon. Vemmon is up to 4. Yeah, so I feel like we might get another Searcher or whatever that's like that. But like, I don't know. Like I want to talk about. We can talk a little bit about the ban list. We don't have time. We got time.
Yeah, we got a little bit.
I just like. Yeah, the Shoto stuff is like it's cool as shit, man. I don't like it's like if your deck can't fight a 15k guy, like 15k is not even that big anymore in Digimon, bro.
Okay,
like,
hold on. You're saying
listening.
15k is not that big because you play Greymon and Tyranno and like these big.
My man, let's go.
Exactly. So you're like, you know what, guys? 15k is not that big in DP. Meanwhile, the yellow decks, they're like, fuck, dude, how am I supposed to like DP minus this? All of my level 6s are 11.
Wait, hold on, when did they get human rights? When did yellow get human rights? Hold on a second.
I don't know, bro. Like I've watched Terry swing into security without jamming, and without fail, he'll hit exactly a 12k body and go, oh, that's unfortunate.
That's karma. I'm sorry. I love Judge Terry. That's my dude. I would give care if Terry helped me move out of my apartment 3 weeks ago. Like that is my guy. But if he ever shows up and he's not on Sakuyamon, he is blood in the water, and I am coming for him. Because I swear to God, some of the like Yellow has had it too good for so many years of Digimon now. It's like it's Yellow and Blue are like the don't worry guys, we'll look after you. And then like Green gets like 1 card a year. Black has had 2 decks ever. Like it had Alphamon and then D Brigade. I'm like, when was the last time that they printed a black archetype that did anything for more than 1 set?
Dang.
Like it's just the colors.
Too real.
Yeah, the colors are not.
That's too real.
They are not loved the same way, bro. Even like the new Dorumon shit, bro. They play Lugamon. Like, it's not the same.
Funnily enough, like I have
1 tricks before, dude. Kurova's like that's the same 50 he's won or he topped a second GAO with, right? Like it's like there are hella good 1 tricks in the Eastern format. It's just like I mean, shouts to the Ungers guys. They were super nice when I met them.
I remember speaking of like Gora, right? I remember like I was at work. Well, I was at work, but I wasn't working. And me and
to his manager, that was a lie.
that was a lie. And I remember like the Gora video came out from East, and I was like, oh, okay, I want to see this because it was like your thought process like building the deck and like you were tweaking it every week. One? Yeah, the build up one. And I'm like, wow, black base, that's so cool. Yeah, these cards are really interesting. And then there's like a moment where the deck just pivots to purple, and it was just like,
thanks to Patty over in Singapore. Yeah, that's the carpet protagonist guys for that.
And then you were like, oh yeah, because you get to do this. I'm like, wow, that's fucking crazy. You know what? I think I will also play the purple build. So even like black decks, like because you look at the Dorumon and it's like you get protection, you get piercing, you get all of this stuff, or you trade that for infinite memory and alliance, and it's like, you know what? I think I'll take that.
Yeah,
you definitely feel the difference as soon as you play the purple bit.
I'm not hitting that deck though. Like, not to just keep talking ban list, but like, there's no way. I keep seeing people.
Hold on.
I keep seeing people talking about like what cards. There's no way to hit Darugamon. That's
no.
I keep seeing.
Darugamon, the level 4 is problematic. At some point, that card will get hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it hasn't had its moment yet. It hasn't won an event yet. Like, what? Like
you guys just got BT70 given time.
I thought Dexter won something.
No, but like I think okay, this is my like 2 cents with control in Digimon. Like a real true blue control deck is way worse in best of 3. I'm like, we're starting to get best of 1 events now. Like the first Scottish regional is coming up in October, and that's been announced best of 1.
Oh really?
But I think a lot of the control decks, like if you go down
like a Gen Con. Gen Con also had like the best
Gen Con
in
Indiana. Shout out to Indiana. They had like one of the 1-day events as well, but like one of the ones that's always really weird is the Lil Do. Like the decks that convert in best of 3 and the decks that convert in best of 1 are totally different. Like every single time people are like, oh, it's not that big a deal. But like I think part of it is that NA players don't practice like best of 1 because like here it's the most popular format.
I mean, it's the only format.
Yeah.
So there's nothing else.
Yeah. So it's like you play best of 1 and then like the people get really good at playing best of 1 and it influences how the tournaments are going. But like in the West, if you see a best of 1 event, like I guarantee you, like maybe the first and second most represented decks will be the same. Like let's say it's top 32. Like currently it would probably still be Numemon and Ancient Garurumon, but like I bet you Imperial would not convert as well. So like there's always some like weirdness, and it always gets control worse. Because like in a best of 1, a control player just has to lock it down 1 time and clutch up.
Yeah.
But like if you go down game 1 against like you're playing Doragoromon against Sailor Vaccine or whatever.
Yeah.
You lose game 1, you have to like fight them and the clock to not lose game 2.
Yeah.
And it's like it's impossible.
I'm guessing like that's sorry, go ahead.
I never really understood like the the meaning of the clock and like best of 3 environment until I watched Pokemon Worlds last year, the one that was in like just south of Tokyo. And at that, when I watched like the finals game, which I don't understand, it's happened in Digimon, happened in Pokemon. Why is the finals game for a card event time?
Yeah.
Have its natural conclusion. That's so weird to me.
Very weird.
But also, like Tord Reklev, if you guys don't know, is like one of the best Pokemon players to probably ever live.
He's the best. He's the best.
Okay.
He got sacked this weekend, but he's the best.
And he's won, like, imagine if someone went to every regional around the world for Digimon and won that region.
He's the GOAT.
Like the largest region. Like,
He's
like
the
finals.
Kazunoko.
He's done that for pretty much every area except the World Championship. So he's won like LATAM, he's won America, he's won Europe. And so he's in the World Finals. He's in the final match. And the other guy wins the first game. And I think Tord goes, he's like trending toward to win the second game. Maybe he does win the second game, but the last game comes down to time.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy, like the way the time worked, if Tord had one more turn, he won that game. It was very obvious.
Yeah.
So the other player had no incentive at all to play fast.
Yep.
He had no, because it was like at that point you're like counting down by turns, like the clock is ticking. You're just like, well, I guess I'll just sit here and I become the World Pokemon champion. And I think that is like the wackest thing in the world.
Yeah.
I understand like the what the clock means now after like looking at events like that. I like before I had no concept.
It's weird though. Like GAO had different time rules than a lot of the other big events this year. Like even here in the Eastern format, like they had like the double loss for time going to time this year, which was crazy. So it was like
really,
yeah. So like this like last weekend was like that like.
Oh, is that not standard for?
It is for Asia.
Yeah, but like a lot of the like it's not how our best of one is going to work. Like you just get a draw in EN singleton, or sorry, in EN best of one games. Like you get a 1-1 result.
Okay.
So it's 0, 1-1, and then 3 for first play or for a win on the bracket.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's really like I've never seen like double loss like or double 0 points for like an event change it so much. Then like you should have seen like if you guys have seen the like the numbers for like GAO Japan on like in Chiba, like how crazy the representation was, where it's like the decks that were like doing really great on like top 64, top 32, and there's just like this point where it's like, oh yeah, apparently like in round 5 there was like 1 million ties, and like the deck diversity falls off a cliff. It's unbelievable. It's like it goes from like, oh yeah, there was like a purple hybrid, there was like a bunch of there's like a Vmon armor, and then it was like stuff we hadn't seen in a little bit, and then it was like, oh, everybody got a tie except all the Mirage players.
Yeah.
Well, I think that. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna ask because, like, okay, I don't see a world where like Japan will play best of 3, but do you feel like if when we unify, at least not at locals, but you think there's a world where like maybe bigger tournaments are best of 3, or like it'll always be best of 1 no matter what?
I mean, I could take a puff of copium right now and say I hope that's the case. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. It'd be nice if we did that. I think players would also enjoy that more, because at the end of the day, players just want to play more, right? And you give them best of 3. I think the one big time restriction we have, is time, and that's like go to locals at 6. The shop closes at like 8 or 9, and like you can't meaningfully run a locals in 2 hours like that. You get the 2 rounds and you can't finish. So. But yeah, I think players would like that if that was the case. I would, of course, like that. I think NA players mentioned like just more games is always better. So
yeah, for sure. I just want them to do like I don't necessarily think best of 1. Like I think there's a lot of people who, if you have not played card games where that is a format like in the past, like or like I would say especially the big 3 of like historic shows like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic.
Yeah.
They were always, except Commander and Magic, they were always best of 3.
Yeah.
So it's like the perception a lot of people have is like, oh no, don't change the thing that works. But it's like if you've not tried it, like the cursed one that took me the longest to get used to was best of 2 in Pokemon. They did that for a couple of years, where it's like, so the way you got to draw is if both players won the game.
It sucks.
So it was game 1 you get a point, game 2 you get a point, and then both you sign the slip and both players get one.
But if you win the first game, then there's no way you could technically win.
Yeah, you can just basically you play game 2 like a dickhead and just try and steal a point from your opponent. It was one of the worst formats.
So we trialed. We did a locals one time as like best of 1 to see like how many rounds could we fit in our usual amount of time, and just to see like if there was like a kind of shift. And it was definitely different, because I feel like you're allowed to bring more like head ass decks, like things that like usually don't work in terms of like the best of 3, because like you can scam someone in the game 1.
You can scam a deck.
Yeah. For example, Yeah, like Andrew Balbagra. I was playing like plant.
Chat, by the way.
I was playing Leopardmon with like plants because I was like, oh, I only need to like do my combo one time, one game, and I win. Like I don't have to play, like 3 games.
Yeah.
I brought Ravemon and you beat my ass.
Damn,
I remember
sorry.
that. No, it's all good. It's Leopardmon, Ravemon. Turns out that one's not good.
Yeah, this has been super fun.
It's a banger.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, is there any like predictions we want to make here at the tail end for like, because BT19 is coming out right now. Like this could be a fun little like thing we look back on. I want to call this here. If Impmon is getting a delay option, I think all of the gang from Tamers are gonna get one. But I'm gonna call this. Are you ready? The Renamon one is going to be Omega broken. We're going into the winter of Sakuyamon. You can quote me, put that on there. They printed so many good plugins. We got the Maid Mode Ace. We got the Kuzaha that's still crazy, bro. Like if they print a cup, like if the new delay option is like a scramble, but like it counts as the name plugin or something, like bro, we could be on some shit. So like I'm sticking that's my prediction.
I wonder what they would have to print to make it that crazy though, because like technically the green plugin is kind of like
it's like a half a scramble.
Yeah, it's like.
But I'll tell you what then. So I'll be as specific as possible. It'll be a plugin that then goes to like delay effect, like main battle area stuff, and then it's like the delay will just be like scramble, bring a random on back, and that'll be the plugin. So it'll do something else, and then it'll.
My one is that Shoutmon is going to win Worlds at Unification because they're going to have 1 billion Rush inherits, and I think Shoutmon's winning Worlds at Unification.
Still 12 rushes.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Shoutmon wins Worlds.
Yeah.
What do you think, Marcia? What you got?
Like, am I just making like a random like Digimon prediction?
Yeah. Digimon for the like what's October 18th today, so we're like 2/3 of the way through the year. Like, what's the last last third of the year like for Digimon?
I don't know because like okay, if it's like something that I want, the thing that I want the most is Justimon to like not suck like hot ass. Like I want Justimon to be.
You get the ace, bro. It's fine. Yeah, you're
exactly
you're like the current environment now. You're here.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna get the Justimon ace before we get the Cyberdramon ace.
Oh yeah, that's neat. Yeah, so like I want Justimon, but because like I think like we all have like a deck that like people cope. Like for example, it's like what's a deck that like you always like cope no matter what.
Oh, so when I play with you, Agumon. If there's Agumon or Greymon deck I can build, I'm just gonna build it.
I got smoked, dude. He had the blitz, the DNA on me.
To be fair, that deck is like a one-trick pony because he thought that I had an Agumon on the board. He thought I was just gonna use Agumon Ace whenever he attacked, but it was actually Omnimon. That was a War Greymon.
I guess the mix-up wrong, dude.
Yeah. So the deck has like a couple of pieces for Metal Garurumon and the Omnimon Ace in there. So I warped into a War Greymon and then I swung and I was like, all right, well that's my turn. And then he goes, okay, so I'm gonna swing. He's like, I think I can get over the Agumon Ace, so it's fine. I was like, Omnimon Ace. And the board is up. I'm sorry.
I guess the mix-up wrong, dude. I was in the corner. I tried to play around the corner pressure, and then Ukami my ass. It's over.
Damn. Too much XKO.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, shouts to XKO. That'll be hype.
Oh, that's gonna be a fun game. Holy crap.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited. Fighting game players and card game players. That Venn diagram is good.
It's just like.
I told you the guy who got. I mentioned this recently on the report that'll come out tonight. The guy who won, who got 4th at Gao, I think is a KOF player.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
I have to fact check that stuff though. I shouldn't be looking this shit up. I was just like, I checked his account and I was like, that's a lot of art of Terry Bogard in Street Fighter.
Yeah. But I think I've seen that guy at locals. My friends run an event called Tatakai Tuesday down in Nakano, which is like the other side of the Tokyo where I live. I'm on the east side, they're on the west side. And I'm pretty sure I've seen that guy before. So
yeah. I mean, fighting game players and card game players are basically like a Venn diagram. Like I am quite literally at versus fighting right now, and I have to go for breakfast. So we'll wrap it up. Yeah, East. I mean, you're bigger than us, but it's always funny to have all of our guests, regardless of their size, give us any shout outs, anything you want to plug for people that have seen us but haven't seen you.
It's like predictions.
Oh yeah, what was your prediction?
Prediction first.
Prediction on whatever you feel like.
This is lukewarm. This is like it's super lukewarm. First off, this is like Mother D Reaper is not going to get touched. Neither is Shoto, and people are going to be okay with it. It's gonna be fine. And also, what was the other one? I think I'm just gonna end there. Like Mother to Reaper's fine, and I think all the people who are really angry about it right now, you should recognize that there are so many ways around a tamer and a big stupid one wall card that's untouchable by effects in the game right now that it's not a problem at all.
All right.
Ice Clad, Raid, Ignore Blocker, Destroy a Tamer, Rest a Tamer, Big Numbers. Yeah, there are so many ways.
Bro, Hexablaw was made in a lab to beat Shoto Kazuma. Like that card it's unreal.
The cool effect.
Every time you read Hexablaw, you're like, this guy got another line of text. What the fuck?
Yeah. All right, but yeah, is there anywhere people can follow you, East? Just on everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much anywhere. Twitter. Although, man, going on the website now is like, I just gotta like For You tab, Digimon TCG tab. That's it. Like just quickly like scan away or like move away from the For You tab.
Real.
So East_ML on pretty much anything. Twitter, YouTube. I have a Twitch account, but I think I might not use it anymore.
All right.
Also, I'm on what is it? Against my better judgment, I post on the Facebook group, the English Facebook group, and Reddit.
Fair enough. I'm not even in the English Facebook. But yeah, this was
forget about it.
This was super fun.
I got a couple plugs. I want a couple plug here. I want to shout outs. So we've talked about them a couple times. I'll make this quick. Want to thank you to the artists who helped the EX6 Misplay for Game K-Split tournament. If you are in London for VSF this weekend, you can catch one of them at Callan Muriel Art. Is there selling some dope fighting game stuff. The pin, the mashing, or was it Caught Me Mashing is sold out,
yeah,
right?
The certified masher is down to its last one.
Certified masher, one's gone. But yeah, if you like card game stuff and fighting game stuff, check that out. Find people there in London and buy some art from artists who help the channel. Was there anything else?
Oh, shout out to East for helping us fund it. Like, we didn't go crazy minus.
Dude, we got here a week and a half ago now, and he has been the absolute gem. So, like, if you come through Tokyo, the locals are amazing, but the people are better. So,
let me know if you come to Tokyo. Let me know. I'm happy to help show people around. Take you to dinner. Fine.
Yeah, and hopefully, I think like you're going to be up our end soon, so hopefully we get to do this again over not hotel Wi-Fi and can instead
in France, bro.
sit in a.
Yeah, actually, my wife and I actually sat down and started to actually like look at the real hard numbers for like the trip and the dates. So yeah, hopefully I'll be there within like the next month and a half, 2 months.
Right, awesome. But yeah, thanks for joining us, East. Thank you to everyone that watches the podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all of that good stuff. We'll be back to streaming and back to I think everyone will be home by the time the next one goes live. Hopefully we can also get East in again if we do this at another time where everyone's where they need to be.
Well, I won't make you leave your house, your nice air-conditioned house, and get on the hot ass. It's like, how warm is it? It's like 37 degrees in Tokyo today. I made this guy get out of his nice, warm, like, Sunday vibe.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, I'm one train station away, so
all right.
Happy to come there.
But yeah, this will be us.
Good luck at your tournament, Marcio.
Huh? Yeah, good luck. Go get a top. Go get your
Good luck at the, was it you playing an Evo Cup today, right?
Yeah, but we don't know if we're doing like 17 or EX6 because like some people don't have stuff and then like some shops got delayed and
yeah,
we're kind of like we'll see.
Red hybrid sweep.
Let's go.
All right, catch you later, gang.
Yeah.
Bye.
Baba booey.
No, Baba Booey, damn it.